Why do you keep putting things off? You know what you need to do. The deadlines are clear, requirements are simple. Yet instead of working on it, you procrastinate. You find yourself scrolling through your phone or binge watching on Netflix. What's going on here? Are you stupid or do you have some unbreakable chains on your will? Or are you just plain old lazy? I'll tell you this, it's not because you're lazy. It's way deeper than that. We've all been there. We plan to start something, but when the moment comes, it's like our brain completely shuts down, and before you know it, hours have passed. Think about it. You most probably can relate to it when I describe the scene. It's close to the end of the day, and you should sleep, but you feel guilty that you have not done the things you need to do, and the day just slipped by your hand because of procrastination. You start to think about it so obsessively, you immediately feel the negative feelings, and to distract yourself, you hop on to the easiest dopamine, which probably will be some sort of social media app. That way, you procrastinate your sleep hour too, and you stay up to the latest you can stay, and you go to the bed feeling even more guilty. But before closing your eyes, you promise yourself to finally get up tomorrow and do the things you need to do. But tomorrow comes, it's the same old. Why do you think that happens? There is more than one reason, but I'll tell you the biggest reason at the end of the video. Till then, have a guess. Well, here's the thing. Procrastination is about something happening under the surface in our minds that keeps us stuck. And today we will dive into the reasons why we procrastinate. I'm talking about the real reasons, because once you understand them, you can start to fix them. I do not remember who said it, but there was this saying goes like, understanding a problem is the halfway to solving it. There are many reasons for someone to procrastinate. Therefore, I will just focus on the very most common ones. The number one, emotional regulation. Sounds complex, right? But it's pretty simple. When you sit down to work on something tough, your brain immediately feels discomfort. Maybe it's stress, maybe it's anxiety. Instead of dealing with that discomfort, what do? You avoid it. You avoid the task entirely, and that's why procrastination happens. For example, right now I have an urge to make a coffee. When drinking coffee, I'll have an urge to scroll on YouTube. This feeling is normal. All of us have this feeling. Think about it like this. If starting something gives you even a little bit of stress, your brain's natural response is to run in the other way. This is limbic friction. And as your limbic friction gets higher, it gets harder to do the thing. Are you wondering for the solution? You've got to recognize that this discomfort is just part of the process. Instead of avoiding it, lean into it. Start small. For example, when writing something, just open the document. Just write the first line. Just take the first step. The more you accept that discomfort is part of the game, the easier it gets. You have to learn how to get comfortable with discomfort. This is really hard, but if you can achieve it, your life story changes rapidly. Number two, fear of failure. This next one is huge. It's a sneaky and a very deadly killer. You don't want to start because you're terrified that you'll screw it up. It won't be perfect, or maybe someone will criticize you. But here's the truth. If you're waiting for the perfect moment, it will never come by waiting. Because you have to understand that perfection does not exist in human world. We are made of mistakes. There is no one free from mistakes. And the closest we can come to the perfection comes from imperfect action. Let that sink in. Internalize it. Or here's another twist. Maybe you're actually afraid of succeeding? Yep, it sounds strange, but sometimes we may be scared of what success will demand of us. We know if we succeed, the bar will be set higher next time. The next quest will be way harder, and we won't be able to keep up, and that pressure can paralyze us. It mostly comes from self-limiting beliefs that we have deep inside. Even though you can crush the next task at hand, you simply do not have any belief in yourself. that you think you'll be the one getting crushed in the next step. I know this feeling very well. 2 years ago, I was applying for game developer jobs, and the companies would want me to do a demo for them. And more often than not, the requirements were piece of cake for me. But yet, I did not do most of them because that I had such a fear of failure that if I would fail, I would be ashamed and everybody would think less of me. And the worst part is that I also had a fear of success, and it was bigger than the fear of failure. I thought it was a lucky chance for me to get this demo, which was easy for me. The job would be way much harder, and the company would regret accepting me after maximum of 1 week. Yeah, it was tough times. What you need to do is to forget perfection. The only way to succeed is to start messy, make mistakes, and learn. And forget the next step. Crush your current step and realize that you had crushed a step. You can do it because you have proved yourself that you have the ability to do the thing. And the other thing is, others have done it. So can you. Reason number 3, decision paralysis and overwhelm. I looked at a to-do list so long that it made you want to go back to bed? Yeah, that's decision paralysis. When we are overloaded with options or tasks, our brain just freezes. And instead of doing anything, we do nothing. It feels like you are a deer in the headlights. What you need to do is to just simplify it. Break that giant list or task into bite-sized tasks so that it feels that it would just take a minute or two. Feels small? Okay, yeah, you have the perfect guy, so 30 minutes for you. Happy? Focus on the concept, not the numbers. Anyway, you need to focus on one thing, just one. Once you've tackled that, move on to the next. No more thinking about all the steps. Just focus on that one step ahead of you. You have done the planning and it has gone. If you can achieve this, which is a simple concept, your brain will thank you. Reason number 4, lack of intrinsic motivation. Sometimes you're not just that excited about the task, right? When the reward for doing something seems distant or irrelevant, it's hard to find the motivation to do the thing. It feels like a chore. First of all, this is the perfect moment to shortly speak about the motivation versus discipline debate. Some people think you need motivation to do things. Some people think motivation is crap and you need discipline. The reality is that you need both of them. Nobody, and I mean nobody, can work hard for years without a drop of motivation. And nobody can be motivated to work hard for years. You need both. And these kind of tasks need you to be disciplined. But you do not have to just rely on the discipline, and if you're not that disciplined, it is will draining hard. You can find a way to connect the task to something you care about. Link it to your larger goals. Visualize what achieving this will do for your life. It might not feel exciting now, but keep your eyes on the bigger picture. If the task is about something you desire so deeply, even if you don't like it, you'll do the thing. Yes, it feels like it is discipline, because it is. Number 5, low self-belief or self-worth. Lastly, procrastination can come from lack of self-belief. You knew this was coming, right? Sometimes you don't start to do the job at hand because deep down you don't feel good enough. You are sure you can't do the task. You think, why would I try? I'll fail anyway. It sounds heavy, I know. Here's the thing, everyone feels like this at some point, even the most successful people. But the difference between you, me, and them, they push through it. Having a self-doubt at one point does not mean you are worthless. You should just not indulge in it. You got to build self-awareness. Reflect on yourself and catch the moments you have self-doubt. Focus on triggers to solve it. And after it happened, start focusing on what you've accomplished. Even the small wins. The more you believe in your ability to improve, the less you'll hold yourself back. Understand this. You are important. You have what it takes to do it. Before we move on to the video, let me do just a quick shameless plug here. If you're having a problem with procrastination, I have the perfect solution for you. I've created an absolutely free community. In there, I help you beat procrastination and be more productive with a free course and many more bonus. You can find the link in the description. Check it out. You won't lose anything, but you will win a lot. We're over time. Continue to the video. Now, let's go back to the question from the beginning of the video with the guy who promises himself after a day of procrastination and sleeping late because of it, and the next day not doing the things he promised. What was the biggest reason for that guy to not hold on to his promise the next day? Because he did not solve any problems. He just got a tiny amount of motivation because of the pain he was feeling, and that tiny spark could not help him. What he needed to do was to reflect on his problems and think deeply on the reasons that led him to procrastinate. But we have not finished. There is another reason, a bonus reason that probably have affected his productivity and probably affects yours too. And it is, of course, a bonus reason I did not add to the list. Can you spot it? I'll give you 5 seconds. Time's up. I don't know if you catch it, but it is sleep. Sleep is so very much important. A bad quality sleep or lack of sleep can hinder the even biggest motivations. It is one of the biggest hidden reasons for procrastination, and most people does not even know it. Your daily activity and your energy level potential derives heavily on the sleep you had beforehand. Now that you know the reasons, let's talk about some practical solutions. Because knowing the problem is only half the battle. I won't get into too much details, but if you want a detailed approach on the solutions, feel free to state in the comments. I'll read every one of them. Anyway, here's how you can start to fighting procrastination today. Number 1, embrace discomfort. Know that starting something is always the hardest part. But once you get going, meaning once you get the momentum, the discomfort fades. Small steps are key. Number 2, progress over perfection. Stop worrying about getting it perfect. You can fix things later, but you can't fix what you don't start. And be sure you can do this. And the next one too. Number 3, break your tasks into smaller, clearer, and simpler chunks. Remember the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. Prioritize what really matters today. Number 4, connect your why. If a task feels pointless, find a way to tie it to something meaningful to you. Keep the big picture in mind. If you don't have one, have a solid and clear goal. Number 5, challenge limiting beliefs. When doubt creeps in, remind yourself that everyone has doubts. The only way to prove yourself wrong is to take action. Be on your own side. Number 6, prioritize sleep. Never underestimate the importance of sleep. If you have procrastinated and when the time comes to sleep, you don't want to because of the guilt, remember this. Accept that you have made a mistake and it is okay, and then go to bed. So, what's stopping you? You know why you procrastinate and you know how to overcome it. I challenge you to take one small step today. Just one. Don't ever overcomplicate it. Share in the comments which of these reasons resonated with you the most. If there is more than one, make a list. And if you want help diving even deeper into this, join our community where we tackle procrastination and self-improvement every day. I'll see you later.